is here for the show tonight to interview our special guest, show highlight the Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alford Sports Talk Show. Football, basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, boxing, tennis, golf, and racing. The Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alford Sports Talk Show. Tune in for all the news and scores, reporting on the games and so much more. The Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alford Sports Talk Show.
Welcome, everybody, to another great episode of the Alford Sports Talk Show. I'm Alan. Definitely glad to have you join us here tonight on a Friday night, Labor Day weekend. It's going to be fantastic. Thank you so much for taking time out and joining us here on the Alford Sports Talk Show. Tremendously appreciate you all. It's going to be a great ride and got a lot to unpack. Gonna go ahead and if your fantasy football is ready, your team is ready, you know what I'm gonna talk about now, and that's gonna be NFL football. That's right, NFL football. I'm gonna go ahead and dive right in. I'm gonna talk about Shilo Sanders, everything. I'm gonna give you now my thoughts on the aftermath. I saw his video last night about, his response to being, as they say, waived from the Bucs. I'm going to start from the very beginning and go through this and give you detailed information like nobody else, because guess what? I was here at the Alford Sports Talk Show. We had the distinct pleasure of covering the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So I'm going to give you some inside information. I'm going to answer all the questions and innuendos. I'm going to break it down for you, and I'm going to explain to you in detail, chronologically, if Shilo had a chance and what happened there down in Tampa right here on the Alford Sports Talk Show. It is going to be fantastic. The live chat is available, and so much more. Let me go ahead and let you know that. Welcome to the Alford Sports Talk Show there. And got a lot to unpack. So let me go ahead and just kind of start from the beginning. Okay. When it came to Shilo Sanders, here at the Alford Sports Talk Show, I was able to go ahead and come down and cover the Bucs. This was July 31st, was the first day I was able to actually physically be at camp. I wasn't there the first weekend just because I was in Cooperstown covering the Hall of Fame weekend. So I came down on Military Day, July 31st, last day of the month, to go ahead and cover Bucs camp. It was a lot of things that happened because, Shilo was there. My first time covering an NFL training camp. Thank you to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for the golden opportunity. Came there, and let me go and fast forward to what happened. So what ended up happening was, since it was my only day I was guaranteed to be there, I went ahead and went to the tent, and I was able to go ahead and ask Todd Bowles, Coach Bowles, this very question. I was able to go ahead and ask him and let you guys see it for yourself. Let me go ahead and show this for you. Let me go ahead and pull this up. All right, we're going to do this. There you go.
He came to visit his son. He didn't come visit me. He strictly came to see Shilo. I guarantee he didn't come to see me. Not that I don't like him, but he's probably going to visit his son. Who would be proud to have his son found out that does. How is that? He's come along and getting the scheme down. He's made plays like everybody else back there. And, a few tests that come up on preseason. Tuesday night he's one. Three preseason games, practice with the other. So he doesn't have to make it fun. It's been great every year across the league. There was our military day. You got the anthem and everything else for those guys.
Let me show it to you here. For some reason, it's not coming through sound wise too good, but I'll show it to you real quickly.
He came to visit his son. He didn't come visit me. He strictly came to see Shilo. I guarantee he didn't come to see me. Not that I don't like him, but he's probably going to visit his son. Who would be proud to have his son found out that does. How is that? Come along and get the scheme down. He's made plays like everybody else back there. And, there's a few tests that come up on preseason. Tuesday night he's one. Three preseason games, practice with the other. So he doesn't have to make it fun.
Okay, so right there, Coach looked me in the eye and said Shilo Sanders has a very good shot of making the team. And just checking the way it was, that's I'm glad that he said that, because guess what? People was like saying, well, he's undrafted free agent. What chance did he have to make the team? Okay, here we go. For an undrafted free agent, UDFA, undrafted free agent, the chance of making a 53-man NFL roster is a long shot, with only 20% of signed undrafted free agents earning a spot at the end of training camp. However, these players make up a notable portion of every NFL roster, with around 40 to 60 undrafted free agents typically making an initial 53-man roster across the league each season. Despite the low odds, dozens of undrafted free agents make the cut every year and often find success by excelling in specific roles, impressing coaching staff, and benefiting from team needs. So it's highlighted there, about 20%. Okay. I'm going to let you know right now, looking at Coach Bowles to my face, I wouldn't say that Shilo at this point, a week into camp, was at 20%. I would say he was at a good 25, maybe even 30% of making the roster. Not 20, 30, probably about 30%. 25, 30% is where he was at a week into training camp. So to make things easy for you, I'm going to break this down into grades. I would give Shilo Sanders grade in training camp. I would give his overall grade. He did a great job with the fans. He connected well. Everything there was fantastic. In training camp, I would give Shilo Sanders an A plus. In fact, I'll give him an A plus in training camp. Now we go to game one. Game one. So I would say, he has at least a 25% chance, maybe 30% chance coming into game one of the preseason. Game one, he did good, not great. When I say great, you need to have some interceptions, pass breakups. There was none of those, but overall, first rookie game, in the NFL did good. I would say I would give the grade for game 1 a B. So you have an A plus, Shilo, A plus for preseason, game 1 B. That's where I would rank his grade at that point. Got your feet wet. You're in Raymond James, first game. My kids were actually even more critical. They gave him a B minus. I still said, no, I'll give him a B. First game, rookie, you're sitting at a B. That's after game 1. So far, so good. You shining bright like a diamond. A plus and a B, right? But guess what, folks? There's more. There's much more. There's games 1. We got game 1 out the way. There's games 2 and 3. Now, the interesting thing is that at this point, after game 1, there was another undrafted free agent who was basically in the same situation as Shilo, but he was actually in even a better situation as Shilo, and that was J.J. Roberts. J.J. Roberts was a defensive back who was very versatile. He could play corner and safety, and the kicker about J.J. Roberts was J.J. Roberts was the highest undrafted free agent from the Bucs. The Bucs basically paid him $300,000 for him to come into camp and show what he's got. So they definitely had a keen eye on him. At this point, after game 1 and in training camp, from all the reports, and based on what I saw as well, I couldn't disagree with all the reports. They had J.J. Roberts at this point making the team, and they had him outplaying Shilo and being in front of Shilo as far as if there was a between Shilo and J.J. Roberts, they had J.J. Roberts making the team. And you can't really argue that. But guess what happened now? J.J. Roberts got injured after game 1, which I know I'm not celebrating by getting injured, but he got injured after game 1. And not only was it an injury, it was a serious injury, so much so that before game 2, they had announced, the Bucs, about 2 or 3 days before game 2, they announced that J.J. Roberts' preseason and his hopes to make the team this year are over. He is going to be on injured reserve, and he's going to be out for the whole season. He's out. So I was just telling you at the game 1, he had about a 25-30% chance of making team. Now with J.J. Roberts not available for the whole entire season, Shiloh's chances, in my view, are about at 40% to make the team. 40% going into game 2 to make this team. That's where I would put Shilo as far where he was at in making the Bucs 53-man roster coming into game 2. Coming into game 2, he had to do better than game 1. Where much is asked, much is required. That's a biblical term. Where much is asked, much is required. Meaning you have people interested in you. You got eyes on you. Game 2, you had to come out and have a great game. What happens? No J.J. Roberts, 40% chance. And what does Shilo Sanders do? According to all the reports and based on what I've saw too, he had a lackluster game 2. Nothing great. No pass breakups, no interceptions, made a couple of tackles, missed a couple of tackles. At times during the game, watching the game myself, and again, I wanted Shilo to make the team. This point, he looked kind of lost in game 2. So what I would give the performance at this point, at the end of game 2, I would give it, he probably played about a C, but I would rank it down 1 to a D. And the reason why I would give it a D is because you had everybody pumped up and wanting for you to do great for game 2, and you is what the word that kept coming back out of all the news reports I read was lackluster. And I couldn't disagree with that. So I would give game 2 a D rating. So you have A plus preseason, B game 1, Game 2, D. That's where we're at. So now we're trending downward. Okay. Folks, look, if you had one shot or one opportunity in one moment to seize everything you ever wanted, would you capture it or just let it slip? Eminem, Lose Control, verse 1. Look, at this point, Shilo had a golden opportunity, and he's letting that opportunity slip, not because of anything other than the performance on the field. I wouldn't say that he wasn't giving effort, but the performance on the field, the production on the field, games 1 was good. Game 2 was poor. Lackluster was what almost every article said. So now we come to game 3. Now I know at this point, people are going to say, well, you hater, you a hater. I'm not a hater, man. Let's go back for a moment and look at some facts. Okay. I just want to make sure I make this crystal clear, because I don't want anybody saying anything about me being a hater, because I'm not a hater. I'm a player congratulator. Let me show you this. This was on the Bucs website, right? It says, Alan, this is me. Keep pushing, Shilo Sanders. At camp on Thursday, Coach Bowles answered my question about you. You have a good chance of making the team. Keep the focus and keep pushing. Pass those tests. You got this. Go Bucs. And guess what? Shilo saw the comment and he liked it. And I appreciate him liking it. Okay. Let me just go another step further. What ended up happening is this. We were driving down Hillsborough Avenue. My kids and myself have seen a lot of Shilo's food reviews. Where's the proof? There's the proof. Dummy Krabby. Dummy Krabby is one of the places that Shilo Sanders did a review on. I was driving by Hillsborough Avenue. My son goes, hey, that's Dummy Krabby. That's the place where Shilo ate at. There's the proof, folks. So I'm not a person who wasn't hoping that he made the team. No, sir, Bob. But I'm going to be honest in my assessment. I'm going to be straight up and honest in and that's what I'm going to do. So, preseason A+, game 1 B, game 2 D. Now we come to game 3. Game 3, I said at this point, game 3, Shiloh's going to have to do a BOGO, folks. A BOGO. You know what BOGO means? Buy one, get one free. Buy one, get one free. He was going to have not one pick. He was going to have at least 2 picks in game 3. He was going to have a sensational game. 2 picks, maybe a pass breakup, maybe a fumble. He was going to have a sensational game, because you didn't do anything great in game 1. You didn't do anything great in game 2. And this, as Shilo said in his video, and I've said it on my show before, this, folks, is the NFL, the not for long league. If you're going to mess with the not for long league, you better make sure you come correct, because right now it's not looking good. So much so, at this point, coming into game 3, I would say that coming into game 3, at this point, what's going on is it's like moving quick. Right there, Coach Todd Bowles, I would say, had his finger on the ejecto-cito cuz button. His finger was right on top of the ejecto-cito cuz button in the NFL when it came to Shilo Sanders come game 3, because you're trending down. A+, B, D. His finger was right on the trigger of ejecto-cito cuz. And if you don't know what the ejecto-cito cuz means, I'm going to demonstrate it for you.
Ejecto-cito cuz! It worked! I love this button!
Ejectocito, cuz. So right now, coming into game 3, that's where Shilo was at. Because you're trending down and things are not going well. The production on the field is not doing well. The production is not doing well. Get to game 3. And again, I wanted Shilo to make this team. We got into game 3, and I'm like, well, I wasn't confident because I've taken statistics. Props to Professor Carlins in University of South Florida, USF, go Bulls. See my diploma right there. Outstanding statistics teacher. And I knew, looking at the stats, that it wasn't going to be likely that Shilo was going to get not even just 1 pick, but let alone 2. Now, could it happen? Sure. He was due for a pick. He didn't have one in a while. So it could have happened, but to get 2, I don't know. But he had to have a BOGO. There was no other option in game 3. You didn't. This is where you were at. So game 3 comes along, and right off the bat, he gets a pass interference on number 84, Zach Davison, the tight end. I'm going to talk about Mr. 84 a bit later, but right now we're going to focus just on Shilo. Pass interference. You got to defend without fouling, and right off the bat, not good. Next thing happened, he missed a tackle. So it's not a good start. Missed tackle, penalty. Then he missed another tackle. And then this tackle really had a face mask attached to that tackle, but they didn't call the face mask. He got lucky on that one. Not a good start. Not a good start at all. So right now at this game, and the crazy thing about game 3 is games 1 and 2, he came in the second half. Game 3, he started. It kind of caught me off guard because I was like, oh, snap, he's starting. Game 3 was not starting off well at all. Not a good start. So then what happens? Well, number 84 does some, let me just call for what it is. Number 84, Zach Davison, did some Bush League tactics on Shilo. Okay, this is not the movies. You don't have to hold the block till the guy gets all the way to the parking lot. This is not the movies. Okay, you can just, you're 6'7", you can just push him off. The play was already 25 yards away. You can just push him off, and that's all you need to do. You don't have to do all that extracurricular activity. Now, in games 1 and 2, I saw some of the players doing some extracurricular activities to Shilo too, but nobody was as egregious as number 84, Zach Davison. And a lot of people on TikTok, which I'm going to get to them in a moment, but a lot of people on TikTok said Zach started a fight. And you know what? You're absolutely right. You're not going to get an argument from me. Absolutely right. Zach Davison did some Bush League tactics, and he started the altercation with Shilo Sanders. You're not getting an argument from me at all. But just like Lou Holtz said, life is 10% what happens to you, 90% how you respond to it. Life is 10% what happens to you, 90% how you respond to it. How did Shilo respond? He threw 2 right hooks, not 1, 2. The second one you get a chance to see really clearly. But if you watch from the end zone going back out, not the opposite angle that they showed a lot, which was the reverse. If you see from the end zone coming back out, you could clearly see, clear as day, Shilo throws 2 punches, 2 right hooks. I cover box at 2. 2 right hooks. And ref is standing right there. Both of them just throw the flag up, put laundry on the field. And guess what? The ref said ejectocito, cuz. Kicked out of the game. But wait, there's more. So now he's walking off the field. And when he walks off the field, the coach gives him, first of all, that angry, you messed up, scowly look at Shilo. Now, me, folks, let me give you a little bit of background. I'm at 505. 505 is the amount of interviews I've done. 505. I've interviewed a lot of head coaches. Lots. Anytime a head coach give you that scowly look, they're not impressed. And not only did he give a scowly look, he said something too. wasn't a good look walking off the field. With the assistance of Assist Live, let me show you this photo right here. Assist Live. Props Assist Live, because in the second half of the game, after the second quarter, Shilo gets thrown out around 6 minutes, 30 seconds left before the halftime. At the third quarter, right after halftime, I went on Assist Live and TikTok, and I basically broadcast about 20 minutes of the game. During that time, right after the ejection in the third quarter, I had basically said at that point that, you know what, it's not going to happen. Let me just go ahead and show you two quick videos of what I basically said during that third quarter. Because if you're one of the players that get cut as a safety or corner, defensive back, I just don't see how you don't argue that, hey, how does Shilo make the team and I don't? He played good, I played great, and I played all the games. You know, I just don't see how as a coach you can not argue that point, because then it would be favoritism. He'd kick us up, and it is good. Field goal, 20-10, Buffalo, 7 minutes, 43 seconds in the third quarter. I just don't see how you can make that argument as a coach why you would choose Shilo over somebody else on the team as a defensive back. Let me show you the short video, and this says it all right here. Through that right hook was expensive because you got kicked out of the game. Not in the position you want to be in. Did not show good restraint of your emotions. So really unfortunate. And I just think if you're Todd Bowles on Tuesday, which you have to make a decision right after the weekend, I just don't see how you survive if you're Shilo Sanders. Yeah. I said it right on during the game, third quarter. I don't see how you survive as Shilo Sanders. And what I also predicted in the longer version was that Shilo was going to get probably cut on Monday or Tuesday. I said it during the game, probably Monday or Tuesday. He's going to get called into the office. Well, the only part of that equation I was wrong on was that it wasn't Monday or Tuesday. It was Sunday. It was Sunday. The game was at 7:30 at night, Saturday night, and Shilo gets cut on Sunday. Adam Schefter breaks the news 11:30 a.m. on Sunday, which means that more than likely Shilo got the notice early that morning, probably around 9 o'clock on Sunday, that he's waived. Where I'm growing up, it's cut. He got cut from the team on Sunday, not even 24 hours after the game. So the good news is the coach did press a button, but he pressed the button before the ejectocito cuz. After the ejection, this button right here is what the coach pressed before the ejectocito cuz.
That was easy. That was easy.
That's right. When you throw right hooks, you get the ejection. You made the decision easy for the coach. Easy. There's nothing to think about. Automatic. To prove that point, let me show you this video. Let me show you this video.
Is Shilo Sanders after that ejection?
I know you can't throw punches in this league. I mean, that's inexcusable. They're gonna get you every time. Got to grow from that.
And then what did you say to the officials after that? It looked like you were possibly trying to argue with
We're
them.
talking about.
Yep. Coach said it was inexcusable. Inexcusable. Translation, you're not recovering from that. You're not recovering. So to me, it was a no-brainer. He was going to get cut coming up. It was inexcusable. So I knew he was going to get cut. It was going to me, the only thing that was going to be Monday or Tuesday, but it happened on Sunday, even quicker than I thought. You know, that's the thing. So again, folks, if you had one shot or one opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted in one moment, would you capture it or just let it slip? Eminem, Lose Control, verse 1. Shilo had a great opportunity. This had nothing to do with Shilo Sanders. One of the things that he said in that video last night that kind of really got me so mad. I respect the video and everything, but that last minute, Shador, you see what's going to happen to me. No, that had nothing to do with what happened on the game 1, 2, and 3. Game 1, 2, and 3 is where this whole deal fell apart. Games 1, 2, and I wouldn't even say game 1. Let's say games 2 and 3, because game 1, I don't feel like after game 1, you were going to get cut. You actually were hanging tough. Games 2 and 3 is where this deal fell apart. Then people was asking on TikTok, as an undrafted free agent, does Shilo really have a chance to make team? Yes, he did. I would say it went from 25% when I talked to the coach up to 40% when JJ Roberts went down. After game 2, it went down to 20%. And after game 3, it went down to 1%. That's how it went. 1%. Not a 0%. I would say he had 1% chance after game 3. So, yes, he had a chance. And I'm going to prove it to you. Look. Let me go ahead and show you this first. Trio of undrafted free agent players make the Buccaneers 53-man roster and for the 2025 season. So 3 players that were in the same situation as Shilo Sanders got signed. And I'm kid you not, if JJ Roberts was trending the same way he was and did not get hurt, it would have been 4, because JJ Roberts was going to make this team. You pay somebody $300,000 as an undrafted free agent, you have an interest in signing them. It's just a matter of them stepping up to the plate. 3 players were made the 53-man roster from the Bucs. Yes. To me, that statement that Shilo said at the end of that video was kind of like negative confirmation about him not making the team. You didn't make the team because you didn't play good enough. That's where the opportunity went. You didn't play good enough. I asked the coach myself. He said in his own words, you have a good shot of making the team. Period. I can only take a man at his word. And he said it. I asked him basically, how is Shilo doing? And he made that statement. And guess what, folks? Another thing too. 19 different articles were generated from me asking those 2 questions to coach. One of them, the first 2 was used by NFL.com, and most of the other 18 articles use question 2. They use that same quote that he said verbatim. So yes, as an undrafted free agent, Shilo had an outstanding opportunity to make this team. And again, JJ Roberts got hurt after game 1. He was out for the season. It was there for the taking. But people are not going to give you something you didn't earn. You didn't earn a spot on the team. So what I'm going to say is this. After watching this video, I'm going to say a couple things. Let me just show you this quick video real quick. And then I'm going to get into where do we go from here. Yep.
Right before the half, you got 1:50 to go. 3rd and 10, the 10th play of the drive here. George has time, and his pass is intercepted. Uh-oh, they're not catching him down the sideline. Deion Sanders is dancing. He's looking backwards from about the 40-yard line. Is he going to do a number on the crowd here? And that's the second return for a touchdown.
Yeah. Allen needed to do at least 2 of those in game 3. Not get thrown out the game. Not get thrown out the game. He needed to do at least. And guess what, folks? It was painful. It was painful for me. It was. But guess what? I end up being 100% right. I wanted Shallow to make this team. But at the end of the day, the production on the field wasn't good enough. So where do we go from here? I watched that video he said. I watched it multiple times. I always try to watch the video at least 2 times to make sure I don't miss any pointers. Where do we go from here? Well, what we go from here is this. Let me show you this right here. And this tells it all. These are NFL draft files, got to give them credit. But these are the stats right here of Shilo Sanders in 83 preseason snaps. 39.1. That's Pro Football Focus grade. It's out of 100. It's 39.1. 38% missed tackle rate. 100% passer rating allowed, meaning all of the pass that the quarterback tried to get to the target that Shilo was taking, was guarding, was 100%. 0 pass breakups, 0 INTs, 1 quarterback hit, 4 tackles, 2 penalties, 1 ejection. And I got to give a fan credit for this. You know, fan brought this to my attention, and I got to give him credit. And that is what a fan brought to my attention was Shilo Sanders had more ejections than he did pass breakups or INTs. And that's a fact. I was like, you know what? That's kind of cold, but that is true. So where do we go from here is this. If you're Shilo Sanders and you could look at these stats and your performance and everything that happened over the training camp and the 3 games and say to yourself, I can play at least 25% better than what these stats suggest, then I would say don't quit, keep going forward. If you can do these stats, and this is the player that you are, and you can only do 5, 10, or 15% better than this, I would say you have a point, and maybe God has given you another talent, another gift that you should maybe try to tap into. Football is nothing wrong with that. Not everybody plays in the NFL. They're not for long league, and not everybody's built to be an NFL football player. If you can only do about 15% better than this, and you could really be honest with yourself, I would say it's not going to be good enough in most cases to make most of the NFL teams. It's not meeting the grade. But if you can do this and 25% better than what you're seeing right here on this screen, then I would say don't quit. Don't quit. That's what I would say. Not saying you should do one or the other, but if it's 25% better than what you've done so far, I would say continue playing. Don't quit. But if it's 5% better, 10 or 15, more than likely, you're just extending the inevitable that you're going to may have to tap into another interest. That's what I would say. I would also say, you know, I really wanted Shilo to make this team. And it's not hating. This is a guy who's really like, come on, man, let's go. Let's go. Game 1, B. Game 2, D. Game 3, and F. And I would say this much. In life, this is some great advice I'm going to give you. I told my kids this all the time. You never, ever, ever want to take a 0 in your average. Never take a 0 in your average. Meaning, if a teacher's giving you a pop quiz, get a 40, get a 50 on it. Don't take a 0. You never want a 0 in your average. The performance on Saturday night, getting ejected from a game, is a F. 0. It's a 0. You never want a 0 in your average. You're going to get haters and baiters in life all day long. You see that book right there, Sell Your Little Heart Out? I literally wrote the book on, no, it's this way. I literally wrote the book on haters and baiters. You're going to get people that's going to bait you, and you're going to get people that are going to hate on you. Sometimes you're going to get a combination of both. Yeah. Like Lou Holtz said it. Life is 10% what happens to you, 90% how you respond to it. You can't throw right hooks in the NFL. You know, I cover boxing. You know, we can set up something with covering some boxing if you want to do right hands, throw up a couple of jabs up in there. But yeah, you can't respond. And I laid it out here perfectly. The proof is in the pudding. 3 Buccaneer players in the same situation made the roster. And I'm telling you, if J.J. Roberts wasn't getting hurt, it would have been 4. That's a fact. That's a fact. Okay. I spoke to the coach. That was a pass breakup. You need to do more of that. Keep pushing, Shilo. He liked the comment. I asked the coach. I spoke to the coach. Folks, if you had one shot or one opportunity in one moment to seize everything you ever wanted, would you capture it or just let it slip? Shilo Sanders, in conclusion, let a golden opportunity slip. Don't say about your door. Don't talk about somebody else's opportunity. You had an opportunity, a golden opportunity. J.J. Roberts got hurt. The highest paid undrafted free agent, making $300K, got injured for the season and they announced it before game 2. And what did you do? You fumbled the bag. You fumbled it. And you made it so the coach had to do something that he probably didn't want to do. And that is...
That was easy. That was easy.
You made an easy decision for him. If you could do 25% better, don't quit. If it's going to be less than that, you might want to look at another interest, because this is in the NFL, man. NFL don't play. NFL don't play. The NFL don't play. Yeah. So I want to make sure I got everybody's question in there. Was Shilo given a fair shot? Absolutely, positively, yes. No doubt about it. This was all about a missed opportunity. Nothing more than that. Nothing more than a missed opportunity. Not seizing an opportunity. Did he generally have a chance to secure a spot as an undrafted free agent? Yes. Yes, he did. Absolutely. Ask those 3 guys on the Bucs, the trio. Ask the 40 to 60 undrafted free agents, typically making an initial 53-man roster across the league each season. Ain't got nothing else. See, some people, it hurts sometimes when people miss an opportunity. It hurts them to admit they missed an opportunity. And I'm a fair guy. We coming back to that's what it is. Somebody commented me, by the way, on the chat about that quote. It's so true in life. My kid, Dummy Krabby. Hey, that's the restaurant. We was on Hillsborough Avenue. That's the restaurant right there, Dummy Krabby. He did a food review on that. By the way, I do need to go to one of those restaurants that he did on Channelside and check out the breakfast brunch. I'm gonna definitely do that. Yeah. What other questions we had on here? Analyze the ejection details, explore whether there's a conspiracy against the Sanders family. And there's no look. I will say I'll have to talk about Shador another day, but I'm going with Shilo and his opportunity because at the end of the day, they weren't evaluating Shador on the field. The Bucs have made 4 division titles. They're going for 5 this year. This is not the bottom of the barrel team. You had Tom Brady playing for this team and won a ring. You got to play. You got to perform. You got to perform. And it's not for long. You don't have a long time to sit around. You got to shine, and you got to shine quick because otherwise they don't play in the NFL, man. They don't play. Yeah, this is a missed opportunity. That's what it is. Missed opportunity. That's what it ended up. Ejectocito, cuz. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. It really is. You just can't. If somebody baits you in the NFL, you just gotta, tell them to back up. You can't throw hands because anybody in the NFL. If you retaliate, you're the one going to get ejected. That's it. They ain't playing games. Now I know that in this same game that I showed you, the Sanders run back, that same game, Primetime was throwing hands with Andre Rison, but that was years ago. The rules are different now. Can't throw right hands. He was throwing a lot of haymakers. Can't do that now. But yes, I'm not going to say either which way as far as what Shilo should do. I would just say if you can play 25% better than those stats I put up there, then don't quit. If it's 5% better, 10% or 15%, I would say you may have to look at doing something else because it's just not going to be good enough. This 39.1 player football focus, this is out of 100. Out of 100. It's got to be at least 25% better than this. And I give Frank credit. 1 ejection, no INTs, no pass breakups. You had more ejections than you had pass breakups and INTs. That is not cutting the grade in the NFL by a long shot. Tell you that right now. Now, I did feel bad about Desmond Watson and his situation. He did get cut, and I actually agree with Desmond Watson on this one. And the reason being, I know what the Bucs were trying to do, but as much as you want to lose weight in life, you just don't lose weight naturally. You just don't lose weight naturally that fast. I know he's a big boy, but some people are just big. And not only that, he did lose 35 pounds. And actually, when I saw him in training camp, and then when training camp was about wrapping up, you could visually tell he was losing some weight. Now, if you're losing weight naturally, it's going to take some time. It's going to take some time. It's going to take some time. And maybe the goal was a little too steep, 60 plus pounds in the time of training camp. And training camp goes by real fast, folks. It goes by real fast. I just felt like it was maybe a goal that was a little bit too much. You know how they make those sales goals and it just sometimes ridiculous. If you're taking Xanax or some type of diet pill, which is not the way you want to lose weight, and I don't even think you can do that in the NFL, it's going to take some time to lose 65 pounds if you put in the work, because you're going to reach, after about losing 20, 30 pounds, you're going to reach a plateau where it's going to be hard to get past that stopping point of 30 pounds or more, because your body now is like, you're losing weight, but you know what? It's one of those situations where you now have to really, really crunch down on your diet. You have to work out even 2 or 3 times harder. Once you lose that initial weight, it's hard to break past that point. I give you myself an example. Over the summer, I noticed I was gaining some weight, lost about 20, 25 pounds. Like, all right. But now I kind of hit the wall. I work out. I put the work in, eat right, cut out a lot of the sweets, don't drink sodas much. I drink it right now occasionally. I used to drink sodas every day, drink a lot of water, but I hit the wall. Like, I'll lose a couple pounds here, but I'll gain it back in a couple of days. It's just, I started doing some now. I try to go to the gym and also do some more work during the day outside, some yard work to see if that'll even help. But at a certain point, you just kind of hit a wall, and it's hard. And I'm not taking those pills, those diet pills. I remember back in the day, right before I took a cruise, about a month or so, I lost a bunch of weight. But once you lose that weight, it's good for the cruise. But once you come back, man, you add that weight and then some. It's not a good idea. Yes, so I pray for Desmond Watson that he gets another opportunity. I hope if he does continue to lose weight, if I was him, I would stay fit and continue to lose weight, because I feel like Desmond Watson will get another opportunity down the road. Maybe not this season, but I feel like if he stays in shape, stays hungry, he'll get another opportunity. And I pray for Shilo too. I pray for Shilo that he, if football is not going to be in his plan, that he lands on his feet, he finds a passion he's going to be doing. I really do. I wish the both of them tons of success. Here at the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show, we just be honest, but we do not lie, and we definitely don't hate on people. We don't hate on people here on the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. Don't. Just don't do it. This is we play and congratulate. We don't hate. So yes, never been a hater, man. Never. But in life, you are going to meet some haters and you're going to meet some baiters. You're going to meet some haters and baiters. I'll just tell you this quick story. My good friend, and the first time and only time that I've ever been the best man at someone's wedding, Alfonso Howard, may you rest in peace. Zoe, I miss you, bro. I used to call him Zoe. But Zoe sat right next to me in the cafeteria one day, minding my own business. This is before I worked in the media. Me and Zoe were just having a buddy talk, sat down, was going to just share a quick meal during our break in the cafeteria. Here comes a hater. He sits right next to us, uninvited. And guess what? Right in front of Zoe, starts going in hard on me, hating on me. Oh, man, why are you working on this overtime? Why are you making all these sales? Why are you killing the game like this? What is your problem? Why you don't go home? And going on and on and on and on. And emotionally, I wanted to just like, come on, man. Like, get out of here. I'm trying to enjoy my food. You're uninvited. I'm hanging out with my friend. And you're coming over here with some negativity and hating on me like this in the workplace. Not even like hiding it. At least I'll give him that much credit. He wasn't hiding anything. He just was going in hard. And I was just like watching it. And I was like, telling Zoe, man, you see what I got to deal with? See what this. I said, I even said to him, I'm glad you're right here to witness this, because you see what I got to deal with. Yeah, I could have threw hands if I wanted to, but I wasn't going to do that. And I wasn't going to engage in that. I wasn't going to engage in that friction, because there's a sanctioning body that most professional offices have. It's called HR. He could have went right to HR, complained, and said, I did this, this, and this. And then guess what? A 5 to 10 minute or 2 or 3 minute interaction could have been 2 or 3, 4 hours of in the office talking, them investigating everything, a whole big mess in there for 3, 4 hours talking about an incident that happened maybe 2 or 3 minutes. And that would have, of course, went to their advantage, because I would have been not available to make sales. You got to ignore haters and baiters. Haters and baiters. And the last thing I'm going to say with athletes, you can't be whipped by just hot girls. Okay. You can't be whipped by hot OnlyFans girls, attractive women. Thankfully, a guy like me has been working in corporate America for a long time, and I've used to seeing attractive women. A lot of these young athletes here, they just can't focus when they're around a pretty woman. Look, guys, women will try to bait you too, and they'll get you in trouble as well. Keep your focus. Keep this tunnel vision of what your goals are. What your goals are. Silo needed to keep tunnel vision of what his goal was to make sure you balled out in game 3. Forget about Zach Davidson. And I'll get into Zach Davidson now. Zach Davidson got cut too, folks. Number 84 of the Bills, tight end. So obviously what he was doing wasn't that great. And it's just, come on, man. Play the game. Okay, you're not on the team. You're not there yet. You don't need to do Bush League tactics. So I hope, you got to show your production on the field. And come to think of it, Jerry Rice's son didn't make it. Well, Shilo didn't make it, unfortunately. And unfortunately, T.O.'s son didn't make it either. The NFL don't play. It's not about social media followers, guys. It's not about who you date. It's about the performance, the production you're putting on in between those end zones. That's what the NFL cares about. What are you doing on the field? What are you doing on the field? They don't care about followers. They don't care about who you're dating. They don't care about stuff like that. What are you doing on the field is what they care about. That's what they care about. Keep the focus on that. Make sure you guys focus on your fantasy football team too. Yes, make sure you guys focus on that. Get your lineups in. And most of you probably already did already. And yes, so make sure you guys do that. I'm just going to say also with the UFL, the good news is the Birmingham Stallions are here to stay. The Birmingham Stallions are here to stay. They're here to stay. The Birmingham Stallions are here to stay. So props to the Stallions. This is, oh, man. How do you go from winning 3 championships to not making it to the championship game, and then now you're in jeopardy of not being in existence in Birmingham, Alabama? I don't get it. But thankfully, the Stallions will return. They will be back. And that is really cool. So the Stallions will be back. Props to the Stallion Nation for saving their team. They actually didn't meet the goal, but Mike Rapoli is how you pronounce it, did say they're going to stick around anyway. So that's, they get an A for effort. I really want the UFL to make it. And there was one player this year, 2025, we had one player that did make the 53-man roster. And it was from the Stallions too. Let me just make sure I pronounce his name right. Yes. Okay. Let me just. Yes, Perian Winfrey from the Stallions did the defensive tackle. Perian Winfrey, congratulations. You were the only UFL player that made the 53-man roster in 2025. Props to Perian and props to the Stallions for sticking around. But this is why you need to have the UFL. I do wish there was more players. But one is better than none. congratulations. We did have one player, 2025, make the 53-man roster. There was quite a few players that did get called into camp, but Perian Winfrey from the Stallions, ironically, did make the Dallas Cowboys 53-man roster as a defensive tackle. So cheers. There you go. That's awesome. That is awesome. So I will have a lot more UFL news in the future for you guys. I definitely will. And I wanted to go ahead and let you guys know, too, the Tampa Bay Rays schedule is... Oh, let me just change this here to Major League Baseball news. Yes, let me just move it for now. Tampa Bay Rays 2026 schedule is up. It is up there. And the Rays will be back in the Trop. So make sure you guys look out for that too. So the 2026. What, folks? Guess what? I will be at the Rays game on Labor Day. So I'm looking forward to that. And the cool thing is, ironically, the cool thing is this. I got to give the Rays credit, man. They have some nice giveaways. They're giving away to all fans that are in attendance on Labor Day, so you have a chance to go out there and make it. They're giving you a Tampa Bay Rays. They're giving you a Tampa Bay Rays football jersey. Tampa Bay Rays football jersey. So everybody that attends. You don't need a special ticket for that. Ironically, there is a special ticket they do have available, not to get the jersey, but to get a Snoopy bobblehead. So if you want to get the Snoopy bobblehead, you'll have to get the special ticket for that. But if you just get a regular ticket, come to the game on Monday, which I will be at, me and the whole family. Come to the game on Labor Day. You will get a Rays football jersey for everyone that attends. Nothing wrong with that at all. Nothing at all. And let me just go ahead and just say, too, when we think, let me go ahead and just see here. Oh, let me give props to Taylor Townsend. She was able to deal with some real hostility this week, and you probably saw it from Jelena Ostapenko. Yeah, you know what? Sometimes people try to hide stuff that is just obvious. This had some, I'm not going to just call it for what it is. It had some racial undertones to it. You know, somebody whips you up, you're a sore loser. And that's from AGTP Tennis. Props to them for that. But yeah. Yeah. How are you going to call somebody uneducated and all that stuff just because you upset because you lost a tennis match? Just shake her hand. Good game, and that would have been the end of it. But sometimes, you know, when people hate on you and they have something brewing real deep underneath, sometimes it comes out to surface. What's hidden in darkness will come to light. One thing that's not in the darkness is this guy right here, Sam Scola Songs. Sam Scola, want to thank Sam Scola Songs and his beautiful wife, Mary, for the songs that are provided here on the Allen Alford Sports Talk show. Great thing is, all of the songs are available that you hear on the Allen Alford Sports Talk show on YouTube and Spotify. Definitely thank you to Sam Scola Songs. And let me just say here, sing along with Sam at gmail.com. What that email is letting you know is sing along with Sam at gmail.com. That is for deals, folks, not spam. Deals, record deals, some great opportunities. If you have something of that nature, then reach out to Sam Scola Songs at singalongwithsam at gmail.com. Sing along with Sam at gmail.com. No spam, deals. Deals, folks. So, props again to definitely to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for allowing the Allen Alford Sports Show to come out there and cover the Bucs for, July 31st, Military Day. That was awesome. 19 articles was written out of those two questions. That is just unbelievable. Glory to God. Let me just show you real quick, one of the articles. And let me show it to you real quick. Yes, and I appreciate you guys. You guys are so awesome. Yes, and here we go. You see? Yep, he's coming along. This is what, when I asked him about Shilo, quote unquote, from head coach Todd Bowles, he's coming along. He's getting the scheme down, Bowles said, via the team's official transcript. He made plays like everybody else back there. There are a few tests that come up during the preseason. Tuesday night was one. The other 3 preseason games and practice will be others. He's got a chance to make it. Yeah. That says it all. And, the question was from yours truly. And this one here, they used, the NFL did use the other question I asked, the first question. He came to, when I asked him about Coach Sanders coming down, he came to visit his son. He didn't come to visit me. I should have been more specific on that. Let me just take a time out. When I said, hey, what do you think about Coach Sanders coming down to visit you, I really meant you as like the Bucs, everyone. I should have been more specific on that. So I'll take the hit on that. But let me go ahead and continue what he said. Bowles said of Prime's visit, he didn't come to visit me. He strictly came to see Shilo. I guarantee you he didn't come to see me. Not that I don't like him, but he's a father going to visit his son. Who wouldn't be proud to have their son trying out in the NFL? That's true. Who wouldn't be proud of that? So that was one out of 19 articles generated from me asking Coach Bowles about Shilo and his dad, and asked about Military Day. So, folks, we're going to wind it down here. This is Labor Day weekend, and I just want to leave you with that quote one more time. Look, if you had one shot or one opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted in one moment, would you capture it or just let it slip? Eminem, Lose Control, verse 1. That is so true in life. You're going to get an opportunity in life to do something magnificent. Are you going to capture it or are you going to let it slip? I hate to say it, but Shilo let it slip. You don't do the same. You seize the opportunity. Seize it. Don't let it slip. Don't let a hater, don't let a baiter, don't let anything stop you. Keep the tunnel vision and the focus on what the goal is. That's it. In life, you're going to get that opportunity. And I hope you guys get that opportunity in life. I pray you do. And you tell us about it here on the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. I definitely appreciate all of the comments, the people that chimed in. I had some really cool people that came in. Thank you all for those cool chat messages. Stay connected. Stay connected. Website right there is AllenAlfordSportsTalkShow.com. AllenAlfordSportsTalkShow.com. You can reach us also at Facebook at Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. Instagram is at Allen Alford _ and X. If you type in Allen, ALAN, and then last name Alford, ALFRD, you should be able to find me on most social media platforms. And please, pretty please, with a cherry on top, don't forget to please like and subscribe there on YouTube. Really tremendously appreciate it. Doesn't cost you a penny. It's free, and you'll make a friend. Nothing wrong with that at all. So I did want to also give props to ProCase.com. You're going to see some great products from ProCase coming up. We're in collaboration together. We're partners in crime. This is a special link. You can see that there, procase.com/ref equals Allen Alford. All proceeds that you purchase anything on using that link will be used to support this channel. I appreciate you guys. You guys are fantastic. I'll make sure I make that a little bit bigger next time. But yes, props to procase.com. And you're going to hear a lot more about them on the next show. Definitely really tremendously appreciate you guys joining us here on the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. Have a wonderful Labor Day. Enjoy your vacation. Enjoy your extra day off. Be safe. Don't let an opportunity slip. Go grab it. Go seize it. You guys are awesome. I really tremendously appreciate you all. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Enjoy that Labor Day. And be blessed. Be well. I will see you guys again. Of course, in Jesus' name, that will happen. Have a great night. Take care.